Right now in 2020, we are passing through a difficult time. The coronavirus disease 2019 or the COVID-19, which originated in Wuhan in China in November 2019 as a spillover infection, has spread to all parts of the globe this year with so many casualties in countries like Italy. I think it's important for us to know what exactly is the disease and how it can affect our lives. I would like to remind you that this is not just an awareness video, it is an explanation video too. So let's get to the video. Though we refer to this virus as the coronavirus, it is not the only coronavirus that is present in the world. It is named as the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2 or the SARS-CoV-2, previously known as the 2019 novel coronavirus. It belongs to the species of SARS-related coronaviruses and to the general family of coronaviruses or coronaviridae. It is a positive sense single-stranded RNA and is actually the 7th coronavirus to attack humans after the 2029E, NL63, OC43, HQU1, MERS coronavirus and the original SARS coronavirus. So, as COVID-19 is said to have originated from a wholesale market in Wuhan dealing with wildlife trade, it is said to have a zoonotic origin. The virus is spread by the medium of respiratory droplets from an infected person to a non-infected person. However, the disease is not truly airborne as the respiratory droplets are heavier, and also because when a non-infected person touches a contaminated surface containing the virus, the disease can then occur to that person because the hands then touch the eyes, the nose or the mouth, and by that means the virus gets an access to the system. The virus can stay on surfaces for long hours. In fact, it can stay on surfaces like plastics for about 3 days. Common symptoms include fever, dry cough and fatigue, and other symptoms include a sore throat, sputum production, anosmia or paraguasia, shortness of breath, headaches or muscle or joint pains, chills, nasal congestion, vomiting and diarrhea. If this disease gets severe, it can lead to complications like pneumonia, ARDS and multi-organ failure. Thus, it is very important to combat this disease. The normal incubation period of COVID-19 is about 2 to 14 days. However, this had risen to up to 27 days in a case. So it's highly improbable when the symptoms may arise. Governments all over the world are acting in their own ways to counter the disease. Travel restrictions, quarantines, lockdowns and even curfews have been announced. Algorithmic regulations and contact tracing are also being conducted in certain countries. The method to stop the virus is physical distancing, staying apart from each other by at least 1 meter according to the WHO. You must have seen that in many campaigns related to the awareness of this disease. Hand washing forms an important part. Break the Chain, a campaign created by KK Shailaja, the Kerala Minister of Health, is also to promote the habit of hand washing. You must wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds to completely remove the virus. And if you don't have soap and water, the next step is to use a alcohol-based sanitizer which contains at least 60% of alcohol in order to be effective. Why simply soap and water can help remove the virus is pretty simple. The virus here acts as a molecule of lipid or oil, and when you wash your hands with soap and water, the hydrophilic end of this soap attracts with the ionic ends of the water molecule, while the hydrophobic end of the soap molecule naturally gets attracted to the lipid molecule, and as you rinse your hands, the virus molecule gets totally destroyed and you're free from germs. However, if you can't wash your hands due to some situations, please avoid it from your face. Also, when coughing or sneezing, always use a tissue. But if you don't have a tissue, Don't cough into the palm of your hand, because this is the hand which you offer to many people for a handshake, grasp things or hold things, and by that means the disease can spread to many other people. Instead, always cough into the cubital fossa or the elbow pit. There is also the masks which can help you to protect against a virus by covering your nose and the mouth. You do not actually require a surgical mask or a mask like the N95 which are used by factory workers. A simple cotton mask which is made at home or a scarf can also help, as long as you are aware of your surroundings. The key thing here is to hold your respiratory droplets inside in case you have an infection and help you from spreading or contracting an infection. Let's now talk about the structural biology of the SARS coronavirus 2. Each virus cell has a diameter of 50 to 200 nanometers and 4 structural proteins: the spike, envelope, membrane and nucleocapsid, while the S, E and M compose of the viral envelope. The N contains the RNA genome of the cell. When the virus enters the cell and comes into a body part like the lungs, it meets the ACE2 receptors, towards which it has a high affinity. The ACE2 receptor is present in the lungs, kidneys and other organs like the intestines. However, this enzyme is predominant in the type 2 alveolar cells in the lungs, explaining why the virus affects the lungs the most. So the S, or the papilloma, which is a glycoprotein, comes into contact with the ACE2 of the host cell, wherein the cell protease TMPRSS2 cuts the S in order to expose the fusion peptide of the virus. Thus, the virion RNA enters the cell, forms a part of it, and the cell is forced to produce copies of the RNA along with its own multiplication. Over time, the virus multiplies. ACE2 is also present in the intestines, as we talked about earlier, which is why we can sometimes find the virus in the later parts of the GI tract. Now, how is COVID-19 diagnosed? The standard method used for this is RRT-PCR, or real-time reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. Other methods include immunoassay and chest CT scan. While blood tests can also be taken in order to diagnose this disease, they require blood samples which are taken 2 weeks apart from each other, and they also do not show immediate results. As you might have guessed, there are no treatment methods for COVID-19 right now. Antiviral vaccines which are being developed currently won't be ready for at least until a year, and the same goes for antiviral treatment. There is only symptomatic, supportive and palliative care that can be given right now. Let us hope for the best. So that's it about this video on COVID-19. In this situation, we should learn to protect ourselves and others by following the guidelines which are prescribed to us by international organizations like the WHO and also by our national and regional governments. By this method, we can effectively flatten the epidemic curve of COVID-19. Why this, you ask? Well, there's a certain threshold of patients that our current healthcare system can afford to support, like the number of beds in hospitals and the amount of supplies, etc. Flattening the curve can not only relieve the healthcare system and help them to treat more patients effectively, but can also offer time for eradication research. This prolongs the time period of the disease, but it is still worth it, because then lesser patients have to suffer through the disease and lesser fatalities then occur. In this crucial time period, we need to sustain ourselves and our families. But for doing this, let's not hoard items to the scale at which we think we would not use up to in a nearby future, scared about an unpredictable future. By doing this, we are not only endangering supplies but also denying these supplies to the people who may really need them. Let us think about us and others. This is a collective effort. Again, if you experience any symptoms, please do visit a doctor immediately, because by doing this, you're not only protecting your life but also the lives of people who may come into contact with you, including your own family. Once again, let us follow all the instructions which are given to us by the WHO and our respective governments. Giving a big round of appreciation and gratitude to all the doctors, nurses, healthcare workers and people like the police who risk their life in order to protect our lives. I would like to end this video. Bye.